So we will now run a for loop for document snapshot in result dot docs result.docs. We will add this snapshot in categories dot add. We will call our category model dot from snapshot, and sorry, we will name it as category for convenience. Category, we will pass the category here. So now I will explain you all this. So basically, first of all, we are calling our collection. We are calling our this categories collection. So when we call this, we get a result. So this result is basically all the restaurants. These all the 3 4 5 all these restaurants and its data. So after that we get this result. We will create an empty list where we will now store this result. So now to get all these categories one by one, we will run a for loop. So we created a category document snapshot, and we will go in this results dot docs, and we are getting when we get these restaurants one by one, we are passing them to these categories, and after that we will return this return categories. So we will return this. We will also return this function. Sorry. This is of the type of list. So now we created our function get categories that will fetch all these categories and store it in this categories list. After that, we will create a user provider for this category. So now we will create a file category provider dot start. So this category provider will be used to load the categories and show them on the home screen. So we will now create a class. So first of all, we will create a class named as category provider. Category provider extends change notifier. So here we will call our category services. This category services that we created, and we will create a object of this category service, and we will initialize this category service. We will also import material.dart. This is resolved. Sorry, this will be capital category service. Now we will create another empty list, and this list is of the type of category model that we created earlier. Category model, and we will name it as categories, and this will be an empty list. So now we will initialize this category provider with the name constructor category provider dot initialize, and we will pass a function name load categories. So now we will create this function load categories. So we will create this load categories, and we will pass async, and as we are using async, we have to await. So first we will create this list that we created above categories, and we will await, and we will call our category service object, and we will call our get categories function. So this will get the categories and store that in this list, empty list categories. So this list we will use to display the categories in our home screen. So we are also creating a names constructor that is accepting this load category. So we will now pass this name constructor in this our main.dart in here their providers. So when our app loaded, so when our app gets loaded, then this load categories will automatically call, and it will load all the categories that we have defined in our database. So we will go to our main.dart, and this provider will also define this change notify provider.value, and its value will be category provider.initialize. So when we run our app, this category provider will be called immediately, and it will load all our categories. So now we will go to our home screen, and we will display all the categories that we fetch from our database here. So first of all, we will define some properties in our scaffold. So first will be our app bar. So we will call our app bar widget, and it has a property background color, and we will assign it as a color blue. After that, we will assign some title to it. Title will be a text widget, and the text widget will be home screen. So after app bar, we have to define the body of our scaffold, and in our body we will call our safe area widget. So this safe area widget, if you go to its definition, it creates a widget that avoids operating system interfaces. Basically, it gives a suitable padding to the screen, like all the screens have various screen sizes or notch sizes in the top. So it will align the it will align the app automatically to the device screen. So its child will be a list view. So in this list view, we will pass our children. So our first children will be a container. So we will pass a height of 100 to this container, and this container has a child, and its child will be a list view dot builder widget. List view dot builder. So in this widget, we will show our categories in a horizontal format. So as we are showing these in horizontal format, we have to set the scroll direction to axis dot horizontal. So now we have to define another property in this called item count. So how many categories that we are fetching from our database. So we will call our category provider object. So as we have not created our category provider object, we will create it here. So in the same way, we will create final category provider. We will call our provider package dot of context. So this provider is a very helpful tool in state management. Basically, through this provider package, that all the providers that we are creating, we will access all the functionality, all the function that we are creating in provider through this provider package. So this provider is of the type of category provider. We will import this provider. We will also import this, and all the errors are removed. So we have imported our category provider. We will use our category provider dot, we will call the categories list that we have created in our category provider. So if we go to our category provider, we are calling this list categories, that is